Francis, good morning, people of God. It is Thursday, the 10th day of October 2025, Thursday of the 25th week of the year, the 25th week in ordinary time. Yes, and this is the reflection was way past morning. It's almost afternoon. And so, but I'm here in the courtyard again of the Franciscan School. I forgot that I told fourth grade I would do a presentation on Francis. So I had to spend the morning doing that because I did not plan out my day well. But luckily they were patient in me getting my things together and then being able to do the talking about Francis and him and who he was and what he did and things like that. So all done with that. So now our reflection for today on this Thursday of the 27th week of the year moves to the prophet Malachi, which is not a happy prophet. It's a prophet who is basically warning Israel that they need to change their ways, and offers them very dramatic and very what do you call it? Graphic punishments that would be in store if they do not. But again, the people of Israel are asking the question: is it worth it to believe in God? Is it worth it to trust that God is in charge, that God knows what God is doing? Is any of this worth it? And again, it is a question that perhaps can be asked, but what they are responding with is not necessarily thinking about what it means, to be this person who is a part of the life of God. But it becomes really the sense in which if God doesn't really care, God's not in control of anything, well, then I can do whatever I want. And so this becomes the problem with the proud and the arrogant and the rich and the wealthy and whatever it is. And so it becomes something that is going to lead to downfall, because we then tend to rely upon our own means and our own ways of doing things, which may work out well for a while, but in the end really brings sadness and destruction. And so Malachi is warning against that. And what's beginning to happen is that factions are being created within the community of Israel, in which there are those who want to follow the precepts that God has laid out, and then there are those who basically aren't paying any attention, or trying to pay attention, who aren't paying attention to them at all. So those who want to follow them and those who are not doing anything that is resembling what it is that God asks us to do. And because of that, Malachi prophesizes that there will only be destruction for those, but to those who remain faithful, even when it seems perhaps absurd and ridiculous to do so, they will be the ones who thrive and prosper, because their lives will be based upon something more than just our own human means and our own human ways of trying to do things and trying to accomplish things. That's always, again, what God is trying to help us see the more of. It's not just about us and what it is that I want for me. It is about what is it that God wants from us, because that wanting that allows us to be more than what we can ever imagine ourselves to be. It allows us to be what it is that that lies hidden within us. It allows us to be that which offers promise and hope and life to this world. If we dare to never lose heart, never lose faith in God, never to lose an understanding that God knows what God is doing, and to keep trusting in what God is doing, then who knows again what wonders unfold for us? Who knows what beauty then lies in store for us, lies ahead from us? And that is what, again, we hope and live for always in our lives. Luke's gospel today talks about persistence again, because so like to believe in God is to be persistent always in basically demanding in one way that God be the God that God says for us. And so the image that Jesus throws up about somebody who needs bread for guests because they have arrived late at night, and it's late at night, and he goes to a friend's house asking for bread, and the friend kind of is like, I'm asleep, I don't have anything to give you. But the friend is persistent in knocking and saying, I need your help, I need your help. Well, it's being given because there is persistence. And Jesus says this is how you must deal with God, with this sense of persistence, because God says, I will not abandon you. I will not do you wrong. I will not harm you. I will not let anything bad happen to you in the end. Do we believe that? And then do we need God to demonstrate how that is true in our lives, and how that is true for all of us always? That persistence. Again, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open to you. And again, if you know what to do is good for your own children, those you love, how much is it that God will do for you? Again, who loves you more than you love your own children, who loves you more with a love that you can only in small amounts comprehend, but whose love will never die, whose love is always going to be for you. Do you trust in that love? Will you trust in that love? Or will you try to just do things all on your own as a human being? Because if you just do all things on your own as a human being, it's not going to end up well. It will not give you what it is that you need. Only God can provide that. and trust and persistence in a God who can do that, and will show how God can deliver. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.